So Nigel Farage came out to defend Mohammed Zia Yusuf yesterday at a press conference, saying that he had been the victim of a bunch of racist abuse. Now, I haven't personally seen any of that myself, but then I'm not intertwined with the online world as much as some other people. So it could well be true. You always get some numpties that throw out the usual racist kind of rubbish. But it's an interesting take by Nigel just to kind of carte blanche say everyone's a racist. It's just a very left-wing thing to do, to call everybody racist or a bigot or whatever they choose to insult you with. Much of the criticism that I have seen is not even of Zia Yusuf's character or the fact that he is a Muslim. It's more to do with the time point at which he came into reform and then the perceived slow creep towards the middle ground. That's where most of the criticism has come in, and I think that it's just a case of bad timing. I mean, when I've seen him, he's been well spoken, he's talked very well about the issues, but I do think that having someone who is the chairman of quite a right-wing party that claims to be a British Muslim patriot could be an issue for some reform supporters. This also leads on to the wider question: what is a British Muslim patriot? I googled it and I couldn't find anything. All I could see from the first few pages of Google was the chairman of Reform. And maybe that's because he's been in the news a lot, or the popularity, or the fact that people have picked up on and said that he's a British Muslim patriot. That phrase, is it a paradox or is it more of an oxymoron? When you insert a religion in between the words British and patriot, I think you're going to come unstuck a little bit with some people, because you're a British patriot or you're not. By inserting a religion in between it, especially one as divisive as the Muslim faith, then aren't you kind of going against things by doing that? You're essentially putting your religion on a par with your patriotism. That's not to say that you can't possibly be a British Muslim patriot, but to me it needs a little bit of an explanation if someone can help me out with this. A lot of people would say that the Islamic faith opposes a lot of British values. So therefore, how could you claim to be a Muslim British patriot, British Muslim patriot, whichever way round you want to say that? To a lot of people, that's not really going to make a lot of sense. A lot of British Muslim values definitely contradict British values. So just to kind of get into that, there was a study that came out quite a while ago now. It was March 2024. It was a poll done by the Henry Jackson Society. And I just want to kind of have a quick look at this just to see if there's disparity between what British values and British Muslim values could potentially be. So let's have a look. Okay, so this is the British Muslim and General Public Attitudes polling done by the Henry Jackson Society, March 2024. It's in a PDF form, so I'm just going to scroll through it and pick out some relevant information. We'll skip past the methodology, etc. It's just saying who they've polled, where they come from. I believe it was about 1,000 Muslims that they've polled. They also polled on the opposite side 2,000 British people of various ethnicities, just British. So the first point here is the key stats. So political behaviour. British Muslims think it's more acceptable than not to protest outside an MP's office if they disagreed with them on Israel-Palestine, and that an MP should be removed. 44% find removal of an MP on either side of the argument to them to be acceptable. Only 18% find it to be unacceptable. Broadly, Muslims do not find it acceptable to protest outside an MP's house, broadly, but 18 to 34s are an exception, as to go to the point above. Almost half of British Muslims say that Jews have too much power over UK government policy. Now, that's interesting. No other religion, not Christianity, not even no religion, not any mention of secular, no other religion, just Jews. It rises to 53% amongst male Muslims. And it's similar for foreign policy. 4 in 10 say this is the case for the UK financial system, and 4 in 10 say it is the case for the UK media industry. 1 in 4 British Muslims say that the Israel-Palestine conflict is their most important topic, compared to just 3% of the public. The British public are not as bothered about that kind of thing. And then it says the cost of living is most important overall. So there's an interesting divide straight away. If I just scroll down, key stats on Palestine. Only 1 in 4 British Muslims believe that Hamas committed murder and rape in Israel on October 7th. 25%, 75% do not believe Hamas committed murder. Interesting. Only 1 in 4 British Muslims believe Israel has a right to exist as a Jewish homeland. 1 in 4, 25%. Almost half of British Muslims feel more sympathy with Hamas than Israel. 53% of 18 to 33-year-old Muslims, they're the most likely to sympathise. So young people are the most likely to sympathise with Hamas, the terror group. Muslims are more likely to have a positive than a negative view of Hamas, and only 24% have a negative view of Hamas. 75% do not. More than half of British Muslims believe the BBC is biased towards Israel, which is very interesting because the BBC bias is actually more towards, well, they're more sympathetic towards Hamas. The wider public are more likely to believe Hamas wanted to kill Jews on October the 7th. More than half of British Muslims say it was to forward the Palestinian cause. So, the future of society in Britain. 63% of British Muslims want rooms for public prayer in non-religious places, such as non-faith schools and hospitals. Well, of course, they want to do that. They want to advance their religion. 2/3 almost 2/3 exactly, want to make Eid a public holiday. 21% of the public, I don't know who these people are, but 1/5 of the public want Eid to be a public holiday. Very interesting. 57% want compulsory use of halal food in all schools and hospitals. More than half want compulsory halal food. Slightly more than half want to make it illegal to show a picture of the Prophet Muhammad. They do not want a picture of their own God being shown. There are depictions all over the world of all other gods. Think about that. Only 16% say it would be undesirable to have a Muslim political party, compared to 53% of the general public. 23% say it would be undesirable to have Islam declared a national religion, compared to 61% of the public. Nearly 2/3 of the public obviously do not want to have Islamic national religion. But more than three quarters of Muslims want Islam to be the British national religion. The same goes with Sharia law. More than 3/4 want Sharia law. 23% say it would be undesirable. So 77% say it would be desirable. And bizarrely, only 60% of the public that was polled say that would be undesirable. So 40% of the public want Sharia law that aren't Muslims. I mean, I don't know what to tell you there. Going on to the future of society on this part here, 17% think it is undesirable that women take a more traditional role in society. 17%. And only 27% say it would be undesirable to outlaw gay marriage. 73% of people, British Muslims polled, say it would be desirable to outlaw gay marriage. Similar figure for outlawing homosexuality outright in the UK. 72% say it would be desirable, compared to 62% of the public as a whole, who would say that they don't want that. 26% say it would be undesirable to outlaw abortion. 74% of British Muslims want to outlaw abortion. and 35% say it would be undesirable to legalise polygamy. 65% want it to be desirable to legalise multiple wives. So there, you have a big snapshot of a lot of their thinking. It just then goes on to state that 6 in 10 British Muslims say they'd vote Labour compared to 43% of the rest of the general public. So as you can see, the Labour vote is definitely substantially a British Muslim vote. There are, I believe, 3.8 million Muslims, just shy of 4 million. And then it just goes into a whole bunch of statistics. It's quite a comprehensive poll, this. They've asked a lot of questions, and they give graphics, and they do a breakdown of all of the stuff that I've said, blow by blow. I just read the synopsis. You can find this study easily online. It's the Henry Jackson one. So a snapshot of what some British Muslims think. Obviously, that's a very small poll. Now, what would you think when someone said that they are a British Muslim patriot? Does that seem like British values and Muslim values are aligned enough to call yourself a British Muslim patriot? That's the question. That's the question that a lot of people are going to be asking, especially in the coming weeks, months and years, certainly as far as reform are concerned, and certainly as far as the state of the country is concerned. So let me know what you think.